the House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi.
Who
Gallows
declined to
elected
get the
hang
cops.
the Vice President,
Who
Mike Pence.
declined.
I think
All
it's
right,
fair to say it's one of
I've
the
had enough of
darkest
this.
days in the
Let's go.
history of
I
America.
just want you to understand what talking points they have. Think about it. J6, abortion, and it's all unraveling before their eyes. They're panicked. All the Supreme Court did was shielded presidents, all the executive branch, right, from prosecution for official acts. What about the rest? Questions about the rest. The bottom line is they sent it back to the lower courts. So the lower courts have to decide whether or not what anything involving Trump was involving an official act or was it something that was personal. And they kicked it back to the lower court. So if they had said, yes, you have broad immunity for everything while you're president, but that's not what they said. You might infer that if that's all you heard. But this long-awaited ruling is important for the presidency. It preserves what the founders said. Here's what the Chief Justice John Roberts wrote. And I know I gave you part of this yesterday. It was a breaking news story here on the Dawn Show. But it said, we conclude that under our constitutional structure of separated powers, and that's what this is about, separation, separated powers, the nature of presidential power requires that a former president have some immunity, some immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts during his tenure in office, at least with respect to the president's exercise of his core constitutional powers. This immunity must be absolute. As for his remaining official actions, he is also entitled to immunity. Official actions. But he did write in that first part some immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts during his tenure in office. So this is not a guarantee. This is not, a complete get out of jail free card like you're a monopoly. That's not what this is about. And everybody's losing their mind over it. Quite frankly, what are the lower courts going to rule? What does all this mean? I'm just saying they never say that. And there was a line in there, and I think that I read this to you yesterday, in which Roberts specifically addressed the issue of talking about that no one individual is ever above the law. He wrote that. So they're using this, and let's not get played. We have to keep the focus. And that's really my focus today, is thinking about Democrats are always the opportunists. They're going to use this to pivot. Now, Joe Biden, his campaign chair, and remember this name because Jen O'Malley Dillon, that's her name. You know who's about to get thrown under the bus? J.O.D., Jen O'Malley Dillon. She's Biden's campaign chair. Boom. I think she's one of those that, remember Mika said somebody's got to go. So you're going to see the Biden camp, their campaign, you're going to see, and this is probably with a little help from First Lady Jill Biden, you're going to see now some people being thrown under the bus because somebody's got to take the blame for last Thursday. So they need to cleanse the palate. I'm saying Jen O'Malley Dillon, who spoke out to NBC News, she had said, she was the one speaking to these top fundraisers last night, saying, quote, he's also 81. He knows that he has to prove that he can do this job from a stamina standpoint, but also from substance. Now, you know what? This is a fatal move. You know what else she said on this call, according to NBC News and I believe Reuters? During the call, she also, believe it or not, ooh, man, this is a mistake. She called out the golden child. She told these fundraisers, these biggity bigs, well, remember Barack Obama's lackluster performance in his first debate with Mitt Romney back in 2012. That's what she told these biggity big donors. Oh, and now it's going public. How do you think that is received by former President Barack Obama or Michelle? Because Michelle is like on the phone right now with Dr. Jill Biden. She already called her. Like, what? She said, this is Jen O'Malley Dillon. If she's not already fired, she's about to be. She said, every incumbent president that I can remember in my lifetime has had a S word first debate. Really? I don't think so. So she's calling Barack Obama's debate performance the four-letter SH word. How do you think that's going to go over? She's out of here. She's the first one under the bus. I'm just saying. But they're all losing their minds. All right, quickly, I want to tell you what Trump, I have to state a time. We have a great guest coming up, Curtis Bashaw. He's making a run for it in New Jersey in the Senate. This is the Bob Menendez, Gold Bar Bob seat. And obviously, Andy Kim, everybody thought it was a lock. Not so much. So we'll talk to him, get the latest, because these poll numbers, according to the polls, he's within striking distance. What's Trump doing? Trump's lawyers wasting no time, as I said. They're asking the New York judge who presided over his so-called, the bookkeeping case, this what the media calls the hush money trial, even though it was a bookkeeping case, that what Trump's team has already filed in court in New York and Manhattan. They're saying he needs to set aside the conviction, delay the sentencing, which is a week from this Thursday, July 11th. Okay, they're saying they need to delay the sentencing because this is as a result of the SCOTUS, the Supreme Court's ruling that happened just yesterday on presidential immunity. Because, and here's what the letter says, asking Judge Juan Merchan to delay the former president's sentencing because he has to weigh the high court's decision and how it may influence now the New York case. So Trump's team asking for permission to formally argue that conviction in the bookkeeping case in New York should be overturned. The former president, you may recall, convicted in New York of those 34 counts of falsifying business records dating back to, and when did the business records get filed? By the accountant who said he didn't talk to Trump, he didn't know where to put it, he put it in this column on the right, should have been in the left-hand column, whatever. But when did that happen? Hands up. When did that happen? When did that happen? The bookkeeping, 2017. Who was president? Trump. So, arising from what the prosecutors say was an attempt to cover up the hush money payment, they're claiming they were trying to cover it up before the 2016 election. However, if you look at when the bookkeeper actually filed it, it was actually, 2017, when he was president. So they're saying that's one example of the fact that some of these issues have to do when Trump was president, and they're saying the conviction's going to be overturned. So right now they're just pushing for time to argue before Judge Juan Merchan, but in my humble opinion, this is a done deal. I think Jack Smith, his little beard probably fell off a little bit, his nasty little scrappy beard, the special prosecutor. I think this all goes away. That's just my opinion. I don't, because now it has to go through the lower courts, and now they have to rewrite things, and this now creates enough of an issue where they have to file everything. The lawyers always win, the lawyers get paid, but this, I don't think we see much past November 5th, and because I do believe that this is persecution prosecution, I believe it's done. It's over. I think it's out of here. And that's what I see. You can disagree. 855-839-1210. Where's Dr. Jill, the PhD, obviously education degree, but Jill Biden, First Lady, stopping in Allentown with a trip to Lehigh Carbon Community College's Donnelly Center this afternoon. She's going to talk education, workforce development, and will join lawmakers, Democrats. That's where she is. So we'll talk more about this and get you all caught up. And then we're going to talk to businessman and Congress Hall Hotel owner down the shore in Cape May, Curtis Bashaw. He's running for Senate. And wow, a lot of pundits saying, never thought this would be in play, never thought this could happen. Is there a chance? You're saying there's a chance in New Jersey? Well, we've got a lot to talk about. Thanks for being here, Dawn Stensland, 855-839-1210. Be right back.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Everyone in an election for President of the United States will critically examine all of the issues and make a decision.
There you go.
So if you've wondered how elections work, everybody kind of sits down and they take their notes and they look at the issues and they say, okay, I like this issue, or this guy was better with that policy. And then you go to the ballots on election day, or you do a mail-in ballot or an absentee or whatever you might do, and you make your choice.
Imagine that.
How elections work with Kamala Harris, coming up tonight at 7 on PBS.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-515-4402. 800-515-4402. 800-515-4402.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds guaranteed with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into their radio show Sundays at 2 or visit njdiet.com.
See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra in a tribute to Philly sports fans on the Boardwalk in Ocean City, New Jersey, Saturday, July 13th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
JoeConklin.com!
The following is a paid commercial message.
Using credit cards could soon become a hassle in Pennsylvania. Some in the legislature are considering a multi-million-dollar giveaway to corporate megastores and may force you to pay for parts of your purchase in cash, while small businesses will have to manage an accounting nightmare. This mandate could also expose information about the private purchases you make. Prevent credit card chaos at guardyourcard.com/Pennsylvania. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Did you know you can stream Fox News Radio on the free Odyssey app? Just download the free Odyssey app and search for Fox News Radio to hear the voices you trust. Brian Kilmeade.
Why are we so scared of Iran thinking they were at war with them?
Guy Benson.
Get the bleep out of here. It's disgusting.
Jimmy Fallon.
Then this administration rolled into town with a checkbook.
Are all on the free Odyssey app. From the news and talk to keep you informed and up to date during election season. Listen to Fox News Radio on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. Hey, Riverton. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hey, if you're tired of your old kitchen or outdated bathrooms, you need to give my friends at Kitchen Magic a call. Kitchen Magic offers no shortage of solutions for any room in your home. With a new vanity, and what about a tub shower conversion? Oh, you're going to love that new bathroom. Plus, Kitchen Magic offers an industry-leading warranty. Right now, Kitchen Magic is, and this is wonderful, Kitchen Magic is offering 30% off select door styles. They do beautiful work. 30% off select door styles, select colors. You want to visit them. KitchenMagic.com. Get this on the calendar. You're going to love the magic with Kitchen Magic, local employer, Pennsylvania, serving our entire region. KitchenMagic.com. Make sure you tell them Dawn sent you.
Don't let woke win. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
I know there's a lot of reaction, a lot of outrage. Everybody's talking politics. I do want to revisit, and we'll talk more about this and get some local reaction. I'm going to put it in perspective for you as far as what's Governor Josh Shapiro saying. What is happening with Bob Casey, Senator Bob Casey? You know, I've had multiple conversations here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT with Senate candidate Republican Dave McCormick, who also served in our military, Army captain. So I'll put that in perspective upcoming, tease that for you a little bit. You know, something to keep in mind, and that is for the first time in our nation's history, former President Donald J. Trump, a former president, was actually charged with committing crimes while president. That was the accusation, right? But let us not forget that Joe Biden's Justice Department put this precedent in motion. I think that's important to think about. So this was ugly. This was weaponization of government. And we've seen it at the highest levels. So by assigning special counsel Jack Smith to charge Trump, in my opinion, Biden's administration did something that was blasphemous, forcing the hand then of the Supreme Court of the United States to define for all of us, to define what it means to have separation of powers. And they knew the importance of this. This is critical. It's not political. It's critical to our nation. It's critical to saving democracy. That's what this is about. We've seen this administration run by Joe Biden, President Joe Biden, weaponizing government. It's been sickening as they have been sicking federal agents on political enemies. And I'm not just talking about DJT. And you think of this, sicking federal agents like the dogs in the White House biting people, but this is federal agents being used like attack dogs, going to the home. Remember this locally? What about Bucks County? Somebody who's a Christian advocate and leader and a prayerful man with all of his kids, his wife, beautiful family in Bucks County. Mark Houck. Remember I interviewed him. Remember this? Remember how I covered that trial, as many of us here at WPHT did. Remember this? Not so far from where I'm reporting live from here at Odyssey World Headquarters on Market Street, but just down the street at 6th and Market at the federal building, a local Bucks County dad was fighting for his freedom because he stood outside a local abortion clinic right here in Philadelphia with his young son across the street, exercising his right to protest. And even D.A. Krasner, even the local cops, right? Nobody here thought that this warranted any charges, that confrontation when an abortion protester went up to the child of Mr. Hawk, preteen kid, and was in his face. And the father says, hey, back off my son. They get into it, nothing violent, but says, back off my kid. That's not appropriate. The guy crossed the street. It was all proven in a federal court. That right there was a case that showcases what this administration does, weaponizing government and pimping local people who have the right to stand across the street as long as you do things properly and there was no violence, nothing like that. But you have the right to stand outside anywhere and protest on a street. That's the right. If your local government says you got to get a permit, okay, you got to do whatever that is. Not that they do that in Philadelphia, by the way, on the other side. But we've seen the Biden administration, Biden's DOJ weaponized time and time and time again. They did this. They went too far. And this Supreme Court of the United States of America protected democracy with that important ruling. That's what I see. Do you see differently? 855-839-1210. And man, I love HBO, okay? I love my shows, but I'm thinking, yo, Ketanji and Justice Sotomayor, Ketanji Brown Jackson, our justices, please back off these HBO shows. I think they're watching too much of, whether it's Sopranos, whether it's Game of Thrones with the dragons, the whole thing. They're watching too much. They've got all these visions, these dark, crazy visions that they're spelling out. Yeek. I mean, that was over the top, I thought. I was surprised. And I think there were many pundits who were surprised that they went there and said, oh, they could call out, SEAL Team 6 against their opponent. What? Nowhere in this ruling does it say that you can whack, as if you're like Tony Soprano for president, that you can whack your opponent. No, that's more like Joe Biden has been kind of doing. I think the Biden administration should be relieved that they can't be accountable for the weaponization. I'm sorry to see it, though. I was sorry to see some of the over-the-top dissenting, written rulings there by the it was a 6-3 majority, obviously. All right. We've got Curtis Bashaw, who's running for Senate on the Republican side in New Jersey. There are some who say, wow, you're saying there's a chance. Is this even possible in blue New Jersey? You should see all these polls nationwide after Biden's disastrous debate performance last week. Now, will yesterday and the media spin in full swing make a difference? We will talk to Curtis Bashaw up next. Be right back.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-688-6641.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Philadelphia will host a presidential forum organized by an Asian and Pacific Islander American voting advocacy group. Hurricane Beryl strengthens to a Category 5 storm, and President Biden says the Supreme Court's decision on presidential immunity sets a dangerous precedent.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano for my friend, dentist and board-certified prosthodontist Dr. Robert Bentz and the Bentz Dental Group. His state-of-the-art facility makes your dentistry as easy as can be. Recently, they had a permanent tooth put in. And you know how it is. In the past, you bite down, it's too high. It's always too high. The back and forth getting it just right. Well, not this time. With Dr. Bentz, it fit perfectly the first time. Call the Bentz Dental Group now, 610-272-6949. Visit BentzDentalGroup.com, 610-272-6949.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-578-2415. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-578-2415 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. That's 800-578-2415. To see if you qualify, that's 800-578-2415.
Hey, Clementon. Yeah! We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Across the nation, we see the poll numbers changing for the better for red, and especially since Joe Biden's disastrous debate performance last Thursday. And so here in Pennsylvania, we've looked at these numbers thinking about the Senate candidate. Obviously, our Senate candidate has a long legacy of a name when we think of Bob Casey Jr., right? But right now, Dave McCormick is within striking distance. And the latest polls even show the Senate race in New Jersey tightening up. And this, obviously, is the seat for the man known as Gold Bar Bob, as Certainly, Senator Bob Menendez is on trial, but running as an independent. And this is the seat for Democrat Andy Kim, who many saw, oh, Andy Kim's got a slam dunk. Well, not so fast. Let's bring in Republican Senate candidate Curtis Bashaw, who's a hotel entrepreneur, job creator, preservationist, somebody who's known well in the business community as a huge success. But will Senator Bashaw, as a Republican, make waves and make history in New Jersey? Good morning, Curtis. Thank you for joining me.
Dawn, it's great to be here. Thanks for having us on the show.
Absolutely. First, a little bit about you, because I love your story. It's a great American story. You know, as somebody who, I think of people here at, you know, the radio station, starting out as maybe an intern or a lower level producer, working their way up. And then the next thing you know, they're the voice of the city. We have those stories, you know. And for you, your story is such a great American story as a hardworking busboy. Can you take us through as far as your story of working your way to the American dream?
Well, thank you. I will. Sure. I grew up in New Jersey, lifelong New Jerseyan, and we summered at the Jersey Shore, as many people do. And I started working when I was 15. You got those working papers, and I was a busboy. I was a bellhop. I became a desk clerk. I served tables, did all the odd jobs in hotels and restaurants that one could. And I fell in love with that business. I thought it was an amazing thing to welcome people for their vacations. They make memories. They come back year after year. And so when I finished college, I went back to Cape May and got an old abandoned building and made it into a little hotel called the Virginia. We started our business in 1989 with just 25 employees. And over the last 35 years, we've built it up, restoring Congress Hall, the Beach Shack, other properties, but we did that, you know, brick by brick, payroll by payroll, budget by budget. And it's been a wonderful thing to grow a business, taking advantage of the freedoms we have in our country. It also wasn't lost on me that as one does that, you know, there's always seems to be more and more one-size-fits-all regulations that burden small businesses. We navigated our way through that, but I'll tell you, the COVID lockdowns, you saw a power grab like you'd never seen before. You saw us lose our core freedoms of assembly, worship, and enterprise in an instant, and that galvanized me. Coming out of COVID, you know, we were recovering with our businesses, and we saw the country buffeted by, you know, these ideologies where we started to be suspicious of law enforcement, not supporting our law enforcement. Now we have this wide open border. And so this year when Bob Menendez got into his second corruption scandal in 6 years, and then the governor's wife of our state thought that she should have that Senate seat, I jumped in the race. I'm not a politician. I'm an outsider to politics, but boy, I believe we need more going to Washington with business sense that know how to get budgets done, that know how to bring people together to get things done. I would have never restored Congress Hall if I had to work with all kinds of different constituencies, lenders, consumers, environmentalists, historic preservationists, construction officials, and we had to rally them around a vision to get that project done. And that's what we need to do in Washington. People are exhausted by the acrimony in our politics and are ready, I think, for some political outsiders and some business people to go there.
And for you, you know, I believe you just announced, right, in January? I mean, it wasn't that long ago, right, because you were reacting to all of this happening. I'm just looking at your life. You have an amazing life story. You're so successful. You're living in one of the most beautiful places. I love Cape May. And so, you know, at some point, like, you're there, you have this great life. You and your husband live out a great life. You go to the best places. Did you ever say, like, what am I thinking? I mean, you know?
That's a great question, Dawn. I mean, people have said, why are you doing this? And honestly, I'm a very patriotic guy. You know, when I was 16 years old, it was our bicentennial, and I was a tour guide in Philadelphia. I learned our civics. My grandfather was a radio preacher on 600 radio stations, and he was very much about our liberties in America, anti-communist. He wanted to see our American values thrive. And so as I felt the encroachment on our liberties creeping into our society, I'm not willing to give up on America. We're 2 years out from our 250th anniversary. Back in 1976, when I was a tour guide, that bicentennial, we planned for that for years in advance. There was pride in our country. Citizens were ready to rally around and celebrate what the American experiment had wrought. And here we all are now divided, upset. To me, it's what Lincoln said. This country is of the people, by the people, for the people. If citizens won't stand, we get what we deserve. So we jumped in. It's not the easiest thing I've ever done, but I'll tell you, it feels very consequential. It's invigorating. I have loved getting to know the voters all over our state, and I'm proud of what we're doing, and I believe people are ready for change. It's a time for choosing. The country's at a crossroads. And so we're going to be a different kind of candidate. We're outside of government. We're a business person. We're not trying to tell people what to do as much as get things done.
Yeah, and what's also interesting, obviously this is the seat long held by Senator Bob Menendez, but the fact that he's running as an independent, doesn't that help you?
Listen, if I have to run against two career Democratic politicians, I'm fine with that. But, it would seem that if he stays in this race, he's much more moderate than Andy Kim, though. Andy Kim is a very progressive, radical Democrat. He votes with the squad every single time, and we will unmask him as we get into this campaign. Bob Menendez seems moderate compared to Andy Kim. But the two of them are career politicians. They're D.C. insiders. And I think New Jerseyans want something different. They want someone from outside the Beltway, someone who's just rolled up their sleeves and built a business over a long time, created 1,000 jobs. I work for the people that work for me. And together we create an economy that generates income to pay for 700 mortgage and rent payments throughout our company's employee bases, tuition payments for college, vacation monies for families. All these things happen because we work together in freedom to produce something. We can't spend our way into prosperity, and that's what the Democrats like Andy Kim want to do. They just want to regulate. They think the bigger government is, the better. And I'm the opposite. I think the government that governs least governs best, and we need to free our people.
Two things I want to ask you about. I do want to get your reaction to the Supreme Court ruling that happened yesterday, just your thoughts on it and all the media fallout that we're seeing. But I also first want to ask you about the fact that, Governor Phil Murphy just signed that record-setting state budget, $56.6 billion in your home state of New Jersey. And just thinking about, as far as schools and parental rights, I mean, this is something obviously for New Jersey where you reside, this is a huge issue for many people as they look at property taxes. A lot of people may not be happy that Governor Murphy signed this record-setting budget, at the same point feeling like they're not being supported as business people or as parents with all the parental rights and post-pandemic issues going on.
New Jersey is so ready for change. I'm talking to voters. They are ready for change. The Democratic monopoly has not worked in our state. When Phil Murphy started as governor 7 years ago, I think the budget was 30-some billion, and now it's 50-some billion. I mean, it's an insane amount of spending growth. The regulatory machine of the New Jersey Democratic legislature just doesn't seem to stop, and businesses are being strangled. They're suffering. The mandates from the Department of Education are taking away parents' rights. Imagine schools keeping secrets from parents about their children. It violates the sanctity of the home and the domestic tranquility that is offered to us in our Constitution. Voters are so ready for change, and we are going to ride that wave this fall, and we are going to see big things happen in New Jersey.
And when you talk about that, as far as nationally with the conversation, now the headline today is a danger to democracy, that the Supreme Court, in fact, is being questioned mostly in the media headlines. But what's your take on, not just the ruling, but as well your reaction to the media fallout that we're seeing?
Well, first of all, I'm not a constitutional law scholar. I'm a businessman. But it was very clear to me that there, in fact, was not any blanket immunity given to a president. They are not completely above the law. The court parsed it down between core responsibilities, official duties, and non-official duties. And we can get lost in reading all that it said, but bottom line is they did not grant blanket immunity. Joe Biden couldn't go, ask somebody to be murdered. Neither can President Trump. It's just not what the court decided. And I think that, in general, with the dialogue, people are so exhausted by these divisive rhetoric, by all these court cases. I want to go to Washington, D.C. to take the heat down and deliver results for New Jersey. Nobody's above the law here, and I think there's a bit of hysteria in this partisan divide we have. Depending on who wins or loses a court case, it's Armageddon. But I think that the citizens of our country are if you don't want to be told what to do, maybe you shouldn't tell somebody else what to do. And I think people are ready for a freedom movement, for us to give each other more space to breathe. And that's why we need outsiders like me to go to D.C. and help turn the heat down and deliver results.
Well, you certainly got results with renovating, obviously, Congress Halls. My husband, Larry Menti, who I know recently had interviewed you, we love Congress Hall. But I know that you said you're a patriot. How will you spend July 4th? Because I know it's an incredible celebration.
Well, Independence Week is always, to me, it's a week, and it started yesterday. We were in Hamilton, New Jersey at the Veterans Park for their fireworks display, talking to a ton of voters. We're going to be in Lower Township tomorrow. We're going to be in Hamilton, New Jersey, and Galloway Township in 2 parades on the 4th, and then back to Congress Hall for our iconic 4th of July celebration. We have a community choir, and we have a whole afternoon picnic followed by lots of concerts and then the fireworks. So it's going to be a big weekend. We continue on the 5th and the 6th all over the state, boardwalk walking. So this will be the biggest celebration I've ever had because we're going all over New Jersey.
Wonderful. How can people support you, find out more about you, Curtis Bashaw?
It's curtisbashaw4senate.com. And you can go to our website. There's plenty of ways to support. We can have volunteers. Contributions always help campaigns. And we look forward to hearing from folks and working together to get this job done in November.
Wonderful. I hope you come back, continue the conversation. Have a blessed and safe 4th of July week, Curtis. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dawn. Bye-bye.
Absolutely. So Curtis Bashaw. Yeah, and I love the fact that it is the Congress Hall Festival that they throw. They, before the fireworks, they, sing the national anthem. Very patriotic, all American. It's just a great place, and I would love your thoughts if you were inspired by anything he said. I certainly think that these outsiders, business people coming forth, much like DJT did, by the way. Nobody gave Donald J. Trump a shot back off the escalator. People kind of chuckled about it. But I think this is a year where post-pandemic, we're looking around, we're seeing all the craziness, and you want people who you just know that their focus is pushing the reset button as far as bringing life, business back, bringing the economy back, and people who are all about that, just a common sense conservative. And I think that's what Curtis Bashaw really offers, just a common sense conservative rather than these far left progressives. That's what I see. 855-839-1210 if you'd like to sound off on that one. Okay, speaking of road trips, because I know many of you, they're saying that today and tomorrow are among the busiest travel days on the roadways. So 1 million people across our region are heading out, either on the roads, by air. But if for you road trip season is right now, you got to make sure your vehicle is road trip ready, right? My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles, they're always going to help you. make sure you and your family are safe on the roads this summer. And the service centers of the Piazza Premium dealers not only handle all the regular maintenance needs, but they can diagnose possible issues before they occur. It's a, preventive medicine, if you will. So schedule a service appointment online today. Just visit them, piazzapremiumautomobiles.com, Piazza, piazzapremiumautomobiles.com, for that dealer nearest you, Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Where else should we celebrate Independence Day? I know Independence Hall, okay, the founders and all that stuff, but Johnny Z and Mulligan's, they're founders. The Dom Giordano Show always heads there. It happens tomorrow, the broadcast, noon until 3, 310 West Hildreth Avenue in Wildwood. Congressman Jeff Van Drew will be there. There might be some scotch tasting. Great food, great drink, lots of fun. Tomorrow, noon until 3 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
A tasty new game is coming your way. Test your skills in Kirby's Quick Run at Tastykake.com. Help Kirby the Crimpet collect all of the Tasty Cake treats. Play now to enter our sweepstakes for a chance to win exclusive prizes. Increase your chances of winning by playing every day. And don't forget to celebrate National Crimpet Day on July 7th by snagging some limited edition confetti crimpets in stores now. Tasty Cake, accept no substitutes.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano, inviting you to join me in Wildwood at Mulligan Shore Bar tomorrow, July 3rd, to ring in the 4th of July holiday. It'll be a great day in Wildwood at Mulligan's. Blow off work tomorrow. Join me at Mulligan Shore Bar in Wildwood starting at noon. Mulligan's, located at 310 West Hildreth Avenue in Wildwood, New Jersey. Let's celebrate America a day early and get the holiday started. Details at 1210WPHT.com.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Using credit cards could soon become a hassle in Pennsylvania. Some in the legislature are considering a multi-million-dollar giveaway to corporate megastores and may force you to pay for parts of your purchase in cash, while small businesses will have to manage an accounting nightmare. This mandate could also expose information about the private purchases you make. Prevent credit card chaos at guardyourcard.com/Pennsylvania. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
LifeSurge is coming to Reading on Saturday, July 13th. Be inspired and equipped to grow your financial resources for Kingdom Impact, featuring leaders in faith and finance, including two-time National Football Champion Tim Tebow, Life Without Limbs Nick Vujicic, Duck Dynasty's Willie Robertson, football legend Brian Dawkins, pastor and author Craig Groeschel, plus worship artists Natalie Grant and Matthew West. That's LifeSurge, Saturday, July 13th. Tickets on sale at lifesurge.com.
Right now might be the best time ever to upgrade your old, inefficient water heater to a state-of-the-art Bradford White Aerotherm heat pump water heater. It's eco-friendly, Energy Star certified for high efficiency, and will help lower your energy bills. Rebates and tax credits are now available that could save you thousands of dollars. How you heat your water matters. So ask your plumbing professional about the Bradford White Aerotherm heat pump water heater, or visit bradfordwhite.com to learn more.
Hi, this is Joe Meterchick, PNC Bank Regional President. Down the corner, around the block, and maybe even in your parking lot, PNC continues to bring banking services closer to your door. Greater Philadelphia is now one of 10 regions where we've permanently introduced the PNC Bank mobile branch. This bank on wheels can be seen rolling up to community organizations across the Delaware Valley. On site and by your side, the PNC Mobile Branch is part of our commitment to supporting communities that need it most. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, VH1, TLC, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows, and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR, so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere, for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC Plus. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's philo.tv.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
My kids used to love this song. I know it's a little obnoxious, but a barking dog, maybe a neighbor's barking dog, can be a little obnoxious. What's happening in Delaware? Will this be something that follows suit here in Pennsylvania or New Jersey? Well, owners in Delaware, dog owners, pet lovers, well, the governor is about to sign into law a new fine. So you could pay up to $150 for each offense if your dog is barking excessively. This is in the state of Delaware. Governor John Carney is about to sign this into law. So according to the legislation, if your dog barks continuously for 15 minutes or intermittently for 30 minutes or more, you could face that fine, $150 each time. So think about that. That's a huge fine, $150 if your dog is barking. And I would just submit to you, I don't know how you feel about this, but I would just submit to you this, that usually when your dog is barking for 15 minutes nonstop, they're trying to tell you something. Now, maybe they're hungry, maybe they're in pain, but usually they're trying to warn you of something. This happened with us, with our neighbor's house, that our dog Buddy was barking. This was the old Buddy because we can't help ourselves. We name the darn dogs Buddy every time. This was the old Buddy. Bark, bark, bark. He was just barking every time he went outside. And so then I would run and he would go toward the neighbor's yard. And I would end up in the neighbor's yard and say, "What are you doing?" And then, come on. Boy. And, so do you know, finally, he kept barking all these different nights on the weekends. Then one weekend, we went away for a wedding. And do you know my neighbors, do you know what happened? They were burglarized.
Really?
And we believe that our Buddy boy was barking to tell us that there was somebody like around their house. We scared off that person every time until then we were gone. And then the dog obviously was in the kennel and they were major burglary.
Jeez.
So I'm just saying maybe something's wrong. The dog might be trying to tell you something.
Yeah. I mean, dogs, they do better recon than us sometimes.
Right? Or, like, I always go back, if one of my neighbor's dogs, but I look back and I'm like, what's the matter? Because what if, one of my neighbors, I don't know, fell down, hit their head. The dog is trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Lassie, is Timmy stuck in a well?
I know.
Did the neighbor fall?
See, I'm always going for exactly. I'm always going for that. I'm always thinking, something happened.
Yeah, and you want to make sure that your neighbors are safe because that's the thing. Like if a dog is barking at that amount of speed, then there could be something wrong. And God forbid if you find out that there's something wrong and you couldn't do anything. And I just know for us, if this law comes to Jersey, we're going to be broke. We're going to be absolutely broke if this law comes to Jersey because our dog barks consistently.
Yeah, I think, well, let's see your thoughts on it, 855-839-1210. To me, this is a little excessive. I think that it depends on why the dog is barking because sometimes I think usually the dogs are trying to tell you something.
I think King Philip is really upset at this point because he didn't come up with this thing first. Somebody's like jumping ahead of King Philip at this point.
Yes. Well, it's not lost on any of us. This is Delaware Governor John Carney, a Democrat. I don't know. Is this the Democrats going to the dogs? I think a lot of these dogs, they should be able to say, hey, my dog was trying to warn of something and something was wrong. I think you should have the chance, a little due process there before you get slapped with that $150 fine. 855-839-1210 is the number to call. Quick break, reset at the top. So we'll tell you what's going on as far as what is Governor Josh Shapiro. He's got some new reaction. We have some new audio you've not heard yet and others. What about Bob Casey take you through that and why I'm concerned about certain states with certain petitions, upcoming deadlines. I'm going to take you through that. So we will parse through that here on The Dawn Show. 855-839-1210. Be right back.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. We have some exciting news. Rescue Natural Supplements is having a sale of epic proportions in honor of Independence Day. Now through July 4th, use the code FREEDOM to snag 45% off 4 or more of your favorite products. You can mix and match single bottles, boost your heart health, strengthen immunity, lift energy levels, or try an all-natural sleep aid. To order, call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483, speak to a rescue product consultant, or shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. It's never too late or too early to fortify your body and health. Rescue's Independence Day sale ends Thursday, July 4th, so don't miss out. Remember, shop res-q.com. Use that code FREEDOM. Again, the code is FREEDOM for 45% off 4 or more single bottles. Do it today.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie, your radio doctor. Every Saturday afternoon at 5, I talk with doctors and medical specialists from around the country to discuss the latest information about heart disease, cancer prevention, topics in women's health, pediatrics, mental health, and more. Then you can make better decisions for yourself and your loved ones. Your radio doctor, Saturdays at 5, here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, because your health is your wealth.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like, 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-403-5569 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-403-5569. That's 800-403-5569. What do you have to lose? Call 800-403-5569. Again, 800-403-5569.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
We are live, we are local, we are sponsored this hour by Piazza Auto Group. Thank you for our friends from Piazza Auto Group. The wind beneath our wings, right? So let's talk about it. I will get into politics. There is some breaking news, and this is Upper Providence Township. We're hearing about a deadly crash. So hope that you are driving safe. You know, the motto here in our region, booze, belts, and burns. That slogan coined for the 4th of July. Authorities reminding everybody stay safe on the roadways and in your backyards, drive sober, buckle up, don't get burned from the fireworks. Booze, belts, and burns. Maybe we'll have some fun with that one a little later, but booze, belts, and burns. So I hate to see this with these different accidents. I know this morning there was a huge accident shutting down Lincoln Drive with a car fire and an accident. Hate to see that. All right, let's talk about politics as far as first. This is Governor Josh Shapiro. He was holding a news conference yesterday, actually talking about different property tax rebates for some individuals for Pennsylvania. He was asked a few questions, asked whether or not he's a candidate for would he accept if the Democrats turned to him as far as swapping out Joe Biden, those conversations, asking him to respond to the Supreme Court ruling. So here is Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro responding and talking about Pennsylvania, talking about America, and this Supreme Court ruling that keeps in place for the executive branch, the separation of powers, but talking about a limited immunity for the executive branch for presidents.
I think this is a dark day for America, holding that now there is at least one person who is above the law. That is not the very core principle that this nation was founded upon. And the Supreme Court, I think, has ushered us into a dangerous new era, and one that all Americans should be concerned about. I have grave concerns with this ruling today, and not just because of what it means for Donald Trump, a corrupt individual who now is legally above the law in many cases. But I worry about the future of this nation, and I worry about the fact that we no longer have that same underpinning of equality that our founding fathers worked so hard to develop.
This is a shame that this is the talking point now. A dangerous day. A dangerous day, a corrupt individual. You know what's a dangerous day in America? Let's talk about a dangerous day. It was a dangerous day for Laken Riley, wasn't it? Young nursing student out for a jog in a park on her college campus. It was not only a dangerous day for her, it was a deadly day. And let's think about little Jocelyn, whose parents just buried their 12-year-old daughter. Little Jocelyn in Houston, Texas, who was followed by predators. Followed and then taken and then tortured and ravaged, sick things done to her by these two sickos, and then bound, gagged, and thrown like a piece of trash in the river. That was Jocelyn, none Gary. You know, Democrats aren't saying her name. They're not saying the name of or the stories of all these different individuals. I talked about in New York, upstate New York. My God, Albany. This teenage girl, thank God she survived this, as these two guys grab her, try to assault her in the back of a car. The mom, what about the mom in Maryland? Her children growing up without their mommy. I'd say, you know, if you could ask those women, their families, about a dangerous day in America, as we look around and see who has created many dangerous days in America, President Joe Biden and his policies have created a multitude of dangerous days in America for girls, children, women across our nation. And then you think about all of these alerts that have gone, that now this weird thing has happened after Homeland Security. I mean, Biden's own administration, they put out the stats, they did the interview, they acknowledged that as many as they know for sure, 400 known terrorists crossed the border. They got most of them, but at least 100 are somewhere. I'd say that creates a dangerous day. What bothers me most about the media and the Democrats who are speaking out about a dangerous day, none of these individuals have been speaking out about the dangers that we have been put into and that some of the most vulnerable individuals have been put into by the policies of this lame administration and this president And the reason why is really sick, because I will always believe that the reason that this administration just allowed people by droves without any kind of vetting process, no vetting process, just come on in. I mean, by the thousands every day, to the point that we may have, I mean, even in the administration admits that, well, it's at least 11 that we've counted, and what about the gotaways? So by some counts, they're saying as many as 20 million have come in. Oh, my goodness. Just unvetted from more than 100 countries. Wow. That's scary. That's creating a dangerous day in the future, right? So they have a lot of nerve, the audacity of these individuals in their spooky voice. A dangerous day. Shame on you. Jeez. We just need to push the reset button on all of this. And the fact that now the Democrats are using this as a rally cry to just try to pivot and make everybody forget what they saw last Thursday, to unsee it. You can't unsee it, but I'll say this, honestly. I know everybody's making a big deal about Joe Biden last Thursday and could not even really stand there for 90 minutes and remain coherent. But I'll say this, I'm still not, to me, I'm not surprised. And I'm really not as bothered as a lot of people, because I'm more bothered by this administration's overreach when it comes to weaponization of government, their policies, horrible policies, and the border policy. That's, for me, when I look at that and I think about the fact that we as a nation will have to pay one way or the other, because now we have to pay for more police. We already have, because of defund the police, we have less officers. And the recruitment is tough. We see it here in Philadelphia, but we see it across the country. We need to hire at least 1,000 officers, and how do we train them? The training takes time. It's an important job. And so when you look at this, moving forward, we pay for this administration's blunders. But it wasn't just a mistake. It wasn't about saying, oh, well, we have a big heart and we're just going to let all these people in, because if that were the case, you would still vet people to make sure that asylum seekers come in, right? That's not what happened here. This was just allowing people to come in and then, well, we'll figure it out later. That's what's going on here. And there was another report, again, as far as the census, and we're getting these numbers from the census saying that in Philadelphia we've lost, nearly 55,000 people. And this is obviously amid the pandemic, yes, and things went crazy in the lockdowns. People got the heck out. The schools were all shut down. People were out of here and left. And so you have all these blue cities where they have to bring in replenishments. They need to keep it blue. And so this is what it's about. And that in a nutshell is how I define right now the Democrat Party. This is not your grandparents' or even your parents' Democrat Party. This is a whole new deal. Progressives are all about, what they care about is the swamp, preserving the swamp, preserving the partisan hold and the career politician, progressive Democrat hold on government. That locally, nationally, they don't care. They're not talking about the crime. They're trying to say, oh no, blame the guns. There's no crime here. We have lower crime rates. I mean, literally they're saying that. Oh, the economy's not so bad. The policies are a disaster. We know it. 855-839-1210 is the number to call. But I've had it. I just want to bring back common sense. I don't even want to talk about partisan stuff. Just common sense. Now, moving forward, I will break down what I think is one of the newer strategies and where they're looking, especially now because Democrats are desperate. Progressives are desperate, right? But I want to take your calls as well. Dan is in Drexel Hill. Dan in Delco. Hey, Dan.
Hey, you just took away a lot of things I wanted to say, but the way you approach it to your Democrat friends is very simple. Mm-hmm. Don't say, what are you, stupid? You say, you're not stupid. And then you go about saying what you just said. You know, these protections are for Biden as much as they are for anybody else. And when, like you said, when Laken Riley's family sues his estate for being part of that, you know, creating the things that caused their death and all the others, you say to your Democrat friends, don't say, are you stupid? You say, you're not stupid. And then you explain it to them and say, do you see that? And that's what I've been doing with my customers. And I don't mind if I lose a customer because they're stupid anyway, but I don't tell them that.
Yeah. And that's, I agree with you it's important to have the conversation. But for you, I mean, obviously you're in Delaware County, which has gone blue. I remember the days with
stupid.
And let's remember this. What happened? What turned Delco blue? The beginning of that. What happened to Kurt Weldon? Remember that?
Right. And the Daily Times skewered him time and time again, and there was no charges filed to him.
Right.
And it's just even at something as dumb as the Delaware County Times, which I used to put under my bird cage, but I stopped doing it because my bird got dumber. So just things like that, you know. But it goes way back. They've been, you know, they skewered Reagan. They skewered Nixon, who was a really smart dude, you know. I mean, but what are you going to do? But you just got to put it. It's up to us because, like in Delaware County, there is no big Republican machine. There never was, really. I mean, there were jobs in media, there were jobs in this, you know, in the small towns and stuff. And I have people say to me, "Well, who's in charge with the Republicans?" I say, "You are." I said, "You as a person are, because we don't have a machine out here."
Yeah.
And the machine was there. I mean, it was kind of like a machine. It got people jobs in media. It got people jobs in their low borough things. That's fine. But that now they're all Democrat jobs. And, of course, there's a lot more. And, of course, we have to pay for all that. But, you know, we are a sanctuary county now.
Yeah.
And, you know, you didn't know that. You know, that didn't come out. They just did it in the dead of night. Nobody heard it.
Yeah.
But you just go up to your Democratic friends, your Democratic customers, and you just say, look, you're not stupid. You know this, and then you just explain, like you said, this is a protection for Biden and any president so that he can make the tough decisions. Of course, Biden doesn't make the tough decisions. He makes the decisions that profit him.
Maybe Jill's making those. Do you want to give your
There you go.
You want to give your business a shout out?
Oh, no.
No. Okay. All right. I'll give you that
have a great day.
Thanks a million, Dan. Appreciate you. Love Delaware County, where I was married to my hubby, Larry Menti. St. Philomena's. Lots of relatives in Delco. Let's get to Frank in Newtown. Hey, Frank.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I want to make a comment. I agree with basically everything you're saying. And I think I want to take it one step further. That if Trump is lucky enough or good enough or whatever to win and get in, it's not so much that he goes back to his policies and reverses everything, which he needs to do. But he has to figure out a way, and I don't know what that way is, but a way to sort of future-proof these issues so that they don't happen again. And I'll use the border as an example. You know, if you're all you're going to do is just say shut down the border, that's fine. The next Democrat who comes in is going to open it up. They got to figure out a way to make it so it can't be opened up, whether it's putting alligators in the Rio Grande or whether it's putting, you know, military bases along the border so they can't come in. Something has to happen where they have to make it so it's very, very hard for the next administration to do something where they can reverse it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the way to do it is to come up with high-quality policies. And, for example, and everybody talks about, you know, bipartisan support for dealing with border issues, immigration issues. We lack that. I will say, although I get calls all the time, and you're going to say, Dawn, the Democrats have proposed something. The truth is, the one Republican proposal that's been up there, 300 days, is still up there, and Chuck Schumer refuses to put that forth for a vote. So both sides, Democrats and partisan Republicans and partisan career politician Democrats, both sides know that they fundraise off of this. And so they're incentivized.
Absolutely.
Right.
They absolutely fundraise. But the problem is, there's really not, if you think about it, there's not a problem with our immigration system. I mean, I'm married to an immigrant. I mean, she came through the system the right way.
Yep.
You know, her family did. You know, she's you know from a South American country, and there's no problems. It's you got to follow the rules. When they say we wanted to pass comprehensive immigration. That's a code for we want to let more people in and we want to make it easy for people to come in, which is fine. If that's what you want, say it. But they keep saying that the Republicans don't want to pass comprehensive immigration reform. We don't need comprehensive immigration reform. We need follow the rules reform.
I love it. Follow the rules reform. That's what we need. Absolutely. I love it, Frank. Thank you so much. Have a blessed 4th of July, and thank you. I love your comments, and Frank is exactly right. But, we have, about 1 million plus that legally come in as they're processed, and my friend Christine Flowers, a great immigration attorney, she's been doing this a long time. She could tell you that. I will just say that we do need to make it so that all of these issues, and part of this is term limits, because we have career politicians. What do they fundraise off of? Things like immigration, Second Amendment rights, firearms, right? Abortion. These are the issues that they constantly are they're not incentivized to solve or come up with bipartisan legislation on any of these issues or bipartisan agreement. You know why? Because they know as career politicians that they can't raise money on solutions. And so that makes us part of the problem as well. We need to look toward people who are not part of the swamp, who are outsiders. That's why I like outsiders. That's why I like term limits for everybody. Because basically, if we just keep going like we are and people just go in and get these sweet gigs where they get an incredible base salary, whether it's the state level, local level, national level, whatever you're going to, they make a ton of money, not just on the salary, better benefits than all of us, pensions, the whole deal. But then when they're getting out, the lobby jobs and speaking engagements, all of that, this is huge money. And so personal greed sets in. So we the people, we have to be smarter. We cannot get played, as I often say. 855-839-1210, the number to call. This hour, or so far, this first 20 minutes, we are sponsored by Piazza Auto Group. Explore the most desirable luxury SUVs with the Defender, Discovery, and Range Rover models. Just schedule a test drive at Land Rover, Willow Grove, Westchester, Harrisburg, or Wilmington to find yours today. Thank you, Piazza Auto Group, Piazza, PiazzaAutoGroup.com, for sponsoring this first 20 minutes of The Dawn Show. Quick break, be right back.
Hey, it's Nick Kale. Join me again on the first Wednesday of the month for WPHT's Veteran Spotlight. It's a program where we shine a spotlight on one outstanding local veteran in partnership with the Travis Manion Foundation, celebrating their remarkable commitment to community service and their exceptional service in the military. Tomorrow morning, we honor retired Marine Corps veteran Colonel Tom Manion for his service and contributions to the veteran community. Presented by Window Nation. For all of your window and door needs, visit windownation.com.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. You may know me from my book, Money Hacks. You may know me from my radio shows, and you may even know me from some of these commercials. But listen, I'm teaching stuff that people need to learn about money. In fact, my favorite topic is money. So go to investorschooling.com and you will learn things about money that you never even knew existed. We will teach you things about real estate, about the stock market, and about how to use your IRAs properly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
I'm Tiffany, founder of Harlem Pilates. When I couldn't find Pilates in my neighborhood, I started a studio from my studio apartment. Chase Inc. helped me grow from 1 Pilates studio to 3. Because when you start small, you're going to need some big help.
With the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JP Morgan Chase Bank, NA member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251.
Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
So many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. Each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
Pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, or back that won't go away? Check out QC Kinetics. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000.
LifeSurge is coming to Reading on Saturday, July 13th. Be inspired and equipped to grow your financial resources for Kingdom Impact, featuring leaders in faith and finance, including two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, Life Without Limbs Nick Vujicic, Duck Dynasty's Willie Robertson, football legend Brian Dawkins, pastor and author Craig Groeschel, plus worship artists Natalie Grant and Matthew West. That's LifeSurge, Saturday, July 13th. Tickets on sale at lifesurge.com.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Using credit cards could soon become a hassle in Pennsylvania. Some in the legislature are considering a multi-million-dollar giveaway to corporate megastores and may force you to pay for parts of your purchase in cash, while small businesses will have to manage an accounting nightmare. This mandate could also expose information about the private purchases you make. Prevent credit card chaos at guardyourcard.com/Pennsylvania. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
From your kitchen table to our airwaves, the Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
Senator Bob Menendez's sister coming to her brother's defense yesterday, testifying at the start of his side, the defense side, giving their case at his bribery trial, says she wasn't surprised to learn that her brother, Democrat, stored cash at home because she says it's a Cuban thing and it's a family tradition. Because, if you're Cuban, you definitely, you're walking around with a gold bar in your pocket, or, your suits and clothes hanging in the closet. There's stuff with cash. But that's what she said. She said it's a normal Cuban thing. She said that when she was asked for her reaction as far as hearing that her brother had, up to $500, all $100 bills, by the way, not small bills. And there was a boot-sized box in the closet. And she talked about the fact that Cubans, because, Cubans fled Castro and came to this country and, had to have the cash at home because they were afraid of losing what they worked so hard for, because in Cuba, they took everything away from you. So if you had any cash in Cuba, you had to store it, secretly. You couldn't obviously put it in a bank. So that was the story that she was telling. So his sister, well, look, she's a good sister. I'd stick up for my brother.
And
right?
This lawyer must be very good, too, because I don't know how you think of a story like that. Like, I guess, it
whatever
does come
do
from
you
some
mean?
truth.
Are you questioning his sister?
I mean, it clearly stems from some truth, but like, oh man, it's a stretch that you're still doing that, what is this, 60, 50 years later?
Yeah, right. Well, it's a tradition.
Yeah, it's
Come
tradition,
on already.
yeah.
So my husband, Larry Mentz, is going to call in soon, so he'll give us his take on Jersey Shore, all the reaction to what's going on. Let's go to Tony in Jersey, since we have Tony up there, right? Hey, Tony.
Hi, Dawn. How are you?
Good. How
Glad
are
to
you?
Talk to you. I'm doing well, thanks. I hear a lot of people ask, what can we do about this mess that's going on in the country today? So I'm sure you've heard of the Convention of States, Article V or Roman numeral 5,
Yes.
Article 5 of the Constitution. So people should go and look up on the internet, Convention of States. We require 37 of our states to ratify the movement to hold a convention. Now, the convention right now, what they're looking to do, the two main things that they want to accomplish is term limits for all elected officials and also balanced budget. So I would recommend, if you want to do something, look up Convention of States or Article V, Article 5, on the internet. Go to the website for the Convention of States. If you can afford it, donate. But they're also looking for volunteers to take the message out to other people. So that's all I wanted to do, is try to help to spread the word. That's one of the things that we can do, because
Thanks,
like
Tony.
one of your callers just said, we don't have a political machine in the Republican Party.
Right. And I know I've reported a lot on the Article 5 Convention of States, and I have reported a lot on this. To me, I just think that as far as yesterday, the Supreme Court, I think, ruled in the proper way. But I know that the Convention of States Foundation, its grassroots, using Article 5 to initiate that convention for proposing some amendments that would limit excessive federal power. But as the snapshot goes for today, I believe that the Supreme Court, the way they wrote it, the way they preserved the separation of powers, I believe it was a good move and the right move. They certainly were not king-making. They certainly were not doing anything, I think, that was giving anybody absolute immunity. But let me continue with calls. We got Joe in. Oh, we take a break. I'm sorry. We'll continue with calls. I think my better half, Larry Menti, is going to call in. I thank you so much, Tony, for the call. 855-839-1210. Be right back.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
The pleasant air mass remains in place across the region today. We'll have plenty of sunshine. It'll be hotter but not humid with a high 85. Tonight, mostly clear and still comfortable with a low 66. And for Wednesday, similar conditions, sunshine, hot but not humid, high 87.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Crash-proof consumer Joe Doherty of Maple Shade, New Jersey, has true security in retirement.
The main foundation of Crash Proof is that you maintain your capital investment. It's not prone to the vagaries of the market. You know that whether we have 2 crashes, 6 crashes, no matter how long you live, you know that your principal is safe and guaranteed. Anyone that has any doubts about whether their investments are going to fall or dip down in the troughs and the crashes and all the other vagaries of the market, I just recommend highly Crash Proof Retirement. Protect your capital, protect your investment.
Only Crash-proof retirement can guarantee peace of mind in a legally binding, recorded financial meeting. Schedule an appointment or register for the next Crash-proof retirement educational event at Downingtown Country Club on Tuesday, July 23rd. The event is followed by complimentary dinner. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Hey, this is Ray Didinger. I had the opportunity to open the new Joe Conklin show. It was sensational. It includes all the impressions, Iverson, Merrill and Mike, Barkley. They brought in this whole musical component with a full orchestra. It's really good. His daughter Casey's part of it. His brother's part of it. They can rock it, boy. So you got all the music, plus you got all the comedy. It's a great night.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm at the Ocean City Music Pier in Ocean City, New Jersey on Saturday, July 13th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
JoeConklin.com! Time! Great workout, Rock.
I'll hit the showers.
Not anymore, Rock. I went to Half Price Hot Tubs and got a nice hot tub and infrared sauna.
Hey, yo, Mick, how many rounds did you go to get that deal?
At Half Price Hot Tubs, you always get the best price on the best brands with more inventory than you have sequels.
I'll get one for me and Buckus.
Half Price Hot Tub sale ends soon. Save an additional $500 and get our unique chemical-free system at 0% financing.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie.
When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
You're in hot water, mister.
What'd I do?
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navien's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navien tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Hey, Mount Laurel. We know your favorite station is WPHT. Tell your smart speaker to play 1210 WPHT.
Latest news headlines: Rudy Giuliani disbarred over, quote, false and misleading statements. That one with the courts. And another one that we're hearing as far as Trump, we're hearing that the district attorney there in Manhattan, they are open to delaying Donald J. Trump's sentencing to brief his motion to set aside his criminal conviction on business fraud and bookkeeping charges in the wake of yesterday's Supreme Court decision on presidential immunity. So right now, as you know, Trump is currently scheduled to be sentenced next week, next Thursday, July 11th. But it would seem from the latest story here that the Manhattan DA's office says they're open to this delay. So Trump, obviously, the legal team filing that letter yesterday, trying to challenge the former president's conviction after the SCOTUS ruling came down and giving him some immunity in some cases. This was not a broad brush immunity situation, as they've said. But the former president's lawyers arguing that the ruling yesterday confirmed their position that Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg should not have been allowed to offer evidence at the trial regarding Trump's official acts. And as a result, what they're saying here is that that jury's verdict should be set aside. So the plot thickens here. Do we have, let's see, we do have Larry Menti.
Hello?
Hey, you.
Hey. Your interview with Bashaw was great.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, no, he said things. I interviewed him, and he didn't say those things to me.
He didn't.
So I'm a little upset with him.
So, do you think he has a shot in New Jersey?
I do. I mean, more so now. The funny thing is, I heard you ask the question, and he was a little coy about it, but I'm sure he wants Menendez to stay in the race. If Menendez stays in the race, and we're looking at a landslide with Donald Trump, at this point, things could change. But the state polls, show a possible landslide, like a Reagan-like landslide at this point. And so if that were to happen, if Trump wins by a lot and Menendez is in the race to split the Democratic vote, he's not going to get a lot, but if he gets 4 to 7%, that's a big deal in New Jersey right now. So, he could win. He can win. He just, he was impressive. He's impressive. I like Andy Kim, and so because I've interviewed him several times, and I hit it off with him. But it would be great to see a Republican in there, and he has a chance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Andy Kim is a very nice progressive man, but he's very nice. But as far as his progressive policies, and Curtis Bashaw, the Republican running for Senate in New Jersey, who thought he'd have a chance in you-know-what? But, I think the talking point of Republican Curtis Bashaw is to say, look, Andy Kim, he votes with the squad. He votes with not just Biden. He's far left progressive. He does not, he really does not relate to the average business person, average family person. I think that's an effective campaign.
It is another thing he didn't say to me, but yes, I think it's tremendous. I think he's honing his message, and that's a really, really strong message. But what I loved him talking about was the fact that he's an outsider. He doesn't care about all this other stuff. Like he cares about fixing problems.
Yeah.
And that's all he's done his whole life, and he wants to get in there and fix problems. And I think that in this climate is a strong message.
Yeah. Yeah, that somebody's just a common sense business person. They're not really in all this mishigas of all the politics every day, and that they're just like, hey, you should have parental rights. You should not have high taxes. Your business should thrive. Really basic stuff that I think everybody relates to. I agree with you.
And the politics is so acidic right now that to have someone getting in there going, I don't care about any of that stuff. I don't care about any of that stuff. I just want to get in there and I want to go to work because I've been able to do this before. You asked a great question, like, why would you leave the life you're in? He could be, sipping Mai Tais from the Virginia hotel and watching the sunrise, and here he is wanting to get into this mess, and so God bless him.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I laughed out loud and I forget this morning, we played so much audio all morning since 6 a.m., but somebody actually having the audacity on one of the MSNBC type shows to say, oh, well, Donald Trump, look how lucky he is. I'm thinking, lucky? Are you kidding me? Like, dragged through the courts and the threat of jail, his reputation. And you know what I noticed? Larry? I thought of this yesterday. I thought, you think of the talking points with the Biden family, that the report is that Biden's whole family, his Hunter Biden, First Lady Jill Biden, that they keep saying, no, you got to stay in it. You got to stay in it. Think of Trump's entire family from day one, even before he won in 2016. All they're saying is, oh, God, why would anybody want to do this? It's really a contrast in the families and their attitudes about getting into this whole mess of American politics.
No, I believe that that's really well said. I will also tell you this. I believe this Supreme Court ruling on immunity never would have happened except what is going on right now. The Supreme Court has looked at the weaponization of the Justice Department. They realize, oh, my God, whoever thought this might happen, where a president can go after his political opponent. And anybody who thinks that's not happening has their head up their rear end. Because why would you have all these cases that happened? Most of them happened years ago. All these cases, all being filed in the campaign.
Yes.
All taking part in the campaign. So, yeah, I think they saw that and they said, you know what, we got to weigh in on this. We got to do something about this. And I love their ruling. I love the ambiguity of their ruling.
Mm-hmm.
They're just saying, yeah, obviously with official acts, they have some immunity. Now you figure out what the official acts are. We're not going to rule on that. It's a case-by-case basis. The court should figure out what an official act is, and we'll play the referee. If it turns out that it's controversial, send it back to us, and we'll tell you if you're right or not.
And the fact that the irony in all of this is that Biden cannot be charged for the weaponization of DOJ.
Yes, you're absolutely right. He can't be charged for the debacle of Afghanistan, which some people were talking about, suing him over that. And Biden can't be charged for accidentally killing Americans when he did drone strikes all around the world. And some people are talking about charging him or suing him over that. So, yeah, no, it's immunity, which should happen. Don't read too much into what the Democrats are doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
What the Democrats are doing, they're desperate. They need to change the narrative, and they need something to campaign on. So they're talking and they're attacking this, saying it's the worst thing that ever could happen, that, the president is now a king. He can do anything he wants, as you pointed out, can send in SEAL Team 6 to kill an opponent. No, he can't. No, that's ridiculous. But they don't mean it either. They just want to change the narrative in this campaign. And look, Dawn, they had a meeting yesterday on the phone with all of the Biden donors, begging them not to leave them. And so that's what could be the end of Biden.
Yeah.
If the donors go, whoa, we can't support him anymore, then you might see somebody else stepping in.
And then the other headline that I wanted to get your reaction from, and this is Justice Clarence Thomas. The headline is that he's taken some swipes at special counsel Jack Smith's appointment, when he's writing about the serious questions about the very appointment of special counsel Jack Smith.
Yeah, I'm in the minority in this, I know,
Okay.
because I kind of like that it was Jack Smith because he's so incompetent that if you're going to put a special prosecutor in, you want that dunce, because I don't think he's ever tried a case that wasn't thrown out. And so, yeah, bring on Jack Smith. Thank God it's him, because it could have been somebody better than him.
So some have said Jack Smith was properly appointed. So your take on it is don't just leave him alone.
Yeah, what a dope. One of the things that is not really reported as much as it should be, he's the one that initiated this. The Trump people didn't. He asked for this ruling. He's the one that filed it. He said, I want to know what constitutes immunity and what I'm allowed to charge with before we get into this trial. What a dope. What now? Both cases might be thrown out now because of what he did. So, yeah, please give me more like Jack Smith. I'll take if I have to go to trial, or if somebody I'm supporting has to go to trial, and you want Jack Smith to be prosecuting him.
I also today I was looking at what else is the strategy? So we've had Governor Josh Shapiro, Pennsylvania, call it a dangerous day. We have Democrats across the board, and certainly the Biden campaign coming out trying to rally the Democrat Party because of yesterday's SCOTUS ruling and playing upon some of the scary talk of danger to democracy in Sotomayor's writings. So then I was pivoting and thinking, all right, what else do they have? And I was thinking about where abortion is on the ballot for November 5th.
Right.
Because what do they have? Danger to democracy. Darth, as you and one of our sons said, the Darth Biden look, right? Danger to a democracy. But then there is abortion on the ballot in places like Florida, and I believe in a couple states the petition deadline is this Friday, where they're still trying to get it on the ballot. But Nevada.
Yeah, Dawn, unless the tide starts going the other way, none of that's going to matter. Let me just fill everybody in on what's happening. So you had the 7 swing states, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Trump is ahead in New Hampshire. Trump is tie in Virginia. Trump is 2 points behind in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Trump is, what's the other one? Maine. Trump's ahead in Maine.
Mm-hmm.
These are Democratic strongholds. If he wins those states, and the state is expected to win out of the swing states, this is going to be a 300-point landslide. This isn't close. And not all the states have been polled. We don't know what's going on in some of these other states that the Democrats are expected to win because nobody polls them because they don't want to waste the money. I think they were stunned that they were 2 points behind in New Hampshire. I think they were stunned that they're behind in Maine. None of them are supposed to be swing states, and they're closer than the swing states.
But that's why I worry. What is their next plan? New York, Maryland, Florida, Nevada, South Dakota, Colorado. Abortion rights are on the ballot, and they're trying to get abortion on the ballot in Arizona, Missouri, Montana, and Nebraska.
Yeah. It won't happen in Montana. It's not going to happen and will never happen in Nebraska. You know why? Because it's the legislature and the governor who's in control.
But what about Florida? That one worries me because that's a huge electoral vote, and I know everybody thinks Florida's locked up, but they have a strict abortion rule there, which is believe me, I'm not arguing with it. I'm just looking at what's the Democrats' next move on the chessboard, and I think this is it.
Well, Florida was court ordered, and so that one's a little bit different. but everything else has to go through the legislature. So just look to see who the legislature is, and then you'll know if it's possible that it can go through. But I'm still not sure it's enough. You're right, though. It has had a big effect. That type of stuff has had a big effect in past elections. And at a close election, it could have a big effect. I'm just not sure this election is that close anymore. And we're going to know a lot more this weekend, because all of the post-debate polls, not the ones that were rushed, but the good ones, the network polls and the New York Times, and they're all going to be coming out this weekend, and we're going to get a good feel for it. But what you're seeing right now is Trump going ahead 4 points. If a Republican wins the popular vote by 4 percentage points, it's a landslide. Republicans don't usually win the popular vote, and they still win elections. So if they win the popular vote by that much, that's historic.
Larry Menti, we'll leave it there. Take a quick break. You know how superstitious I am, so I get nervous when I get very worried, and I'm like, what are they going to do next? They're going to something sneaky is going to happen. We can't,
You should be nervous. I'll tell you the one thing that should make you feel a little bit better is I think that Donald Trump during the debate was buttoned up. He could have blown that, and he didn't.
That's true.
If your opponent is drowning, don't throw him a rope.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah.
Larry Menti, see you at home.
Yeah.
Pork chops for dinner. Love you. 855-839-1210 is the number to call. We'll continue the conversation, wrap things up. And I know that Joe Biden was supposed to speak, but no surprise, he's not on time, right? He's supposed to speak at 11:45 a.m. That was what the White House had put that statement out. Quick break and take your calls and a little more news on the other side. Be right back.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-688-6641.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Today, we're constantly taking photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the memories tucked away on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission, to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy Box transforms them into digital treasures, ready to share with a click.
Just like magic, your shoebox of memories is now safely stored in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box, so you can rest assured your priceless moments are in good hands.
Don't let your childhood fade away on old tapes. It's time to digitize those priceless moments.
Fast forward into the digital age. Visit legacybox.com/value and unlock 50% off your order. That's legacybox.com/value.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano inviting you to join me in Wildwood at Mulligan Shore Bar tomorrow, July 3rd, to ring in the 4th of July holiday. It'll be a great day in Wildwood at Mulligan's. Blow off work tomorrow. Join me at Mulligan Shore Bar in Wildwood starting at noon. Mulligan's, located at 310 West Hildreth Avenue in Wildwood, New Jersey. Let's celebrate America a day early and get the holiday started. Details at 1210WPHT.com.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Using credit cards could soon become a hassle in Pennsylvania. Some in the legislature are considering a multi-million-dollar giveaway to corporate megastores and may force you to pay for parts of your purchase in cash, while small businesses will have to manage an accounting nightmare. This mandate could also expose information about the private purchases you make. Prevent credit card chaos at guardyourcard.com/Pennsylvania. paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Need new furniture? You need Bucks County Estate Traders 4th of July sale. Now through July 6th, everything store-wide is 20% off. Select patio and garden furniture 75% off. High-end, name brand and vintage, mid-century, antique, European, and American furniture. More than 10,000 items in stock. Bucks County Estate Traders has it all. So save big through July 6th at their showroom in Hatfield or at buckscountyestatетraders.com.
Free speech lives here with Don Stensland weekdays 10 till noon. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
I always appreciate our friend Guy Shiraki says cheers to the Constitution, broad and liberty, and says while many of us are focused on Joe Biden's confusion and Bryce Harper's hamstring, boy, isn't that the truth? He talks about the Supreme Court and loves their decision on this, but he's right. We haven't talked about many of the other decisions that impact everyday lives. And then moving forward in the days to come, I hope that we can learn more about what last Friday's rulings mean for all of those January 6th individuals, such as in Pennsylvania, Joe Fisher, who is the police officer who went to the Capitol, says he did nothing violent. And of course, his case actually sparked that ruling. That was on Friday where they had said, hey, Biden's DOJ used an Enron financial law to say obstruction not properly used, threw it out. That impacts, at least 50 cases that we know of. So it would appear that for at least 50 J6ers who were sentenced to 20 years under that Enron law, and they were not charged with anything else, any other felonies. The other charges were misdemeanors. Does that mean they get out of jail? I'm watching that very carefully. What does that mean as their appeals go through? Do they at least get to post bail? Because remember, a lot of individuals, including from Pennsylvania, they were jailed and held from day one. So watching that one very carefully. There's so much fallout. There's so much happening and breaking. And Dom Giordano is here to just pick it up and run with it. Dom, I know that for Joe Biden, the White House had said that he was supposed to speak 10 minutes ago. I don't know if somebody has to wake up the president from his nap time.
Never are these guys on time. If you can't beat the time, don't say it. Yeah. But Alvin Bragg has agreed to move back the sentencing. It's up to the judge because Trump has filed, as we thought he would. Now it's a long shot under the immunity clause because some of the things with the so-called hush money case were testimony from inside the Oval Office and witnesses and the like. If they move it back 3 or 4 months, I'm not sure politically what difference it makes, but it's out there. We're going to talk with a Trump surrogate about it.
Wonderful. Dom Show starts right now.
Cancer, a scary word.